Hey, I'm Katrina. I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina, and this is Black People Horror. Okay, so back in 2008, I was like 18 years old. I used to stay at my best friend's house all the time. Like we've been friends since the first grade. And so I was spending the night at her house all the time. And back then we would watch a lot of horror movies. During that time, like Paranormal Activity had just came out, and I think it was like part 2 we were watching. And we were excited to watch it because I saw part 1 and I liked it. Anyway, so we watched the movie. It was cool, it scared us. And to the point like where, we watched it again like the night after and fell asleep watching the movie and didn't think anything about it. So went on about our day the next day, and I'm with my other friend Tamisha, and we were on our way to meet her mom at a furniture store because her mom had just bought a house and she was getting furniture, and so we were on our way to meet her. And we got there, but on our way there, my phone rung, but it rung and then it hung up. And it was a missed call from Crystal, and then with a voicemail from her. And I'm like, okay, so I'm driving. I'll wait until I get to the furniture store and I'll check the voicemail. And so I did that. So I got to the furniture store, and I remember I was sitting in a reclining chair, and I checked my voicemail, and it was a message from Crystal. And back then, she didn't have a car, and I had a car. So she would call me, and she would be like, bitch. She would be like, bitch, call me. I need you to take me somewhere. Something like that. So the voicemail was that. It was, bitch, call me. I need you to take me somewhere. But it wasn't her voice. It was more like,
bitch, call me. I need you to take me somewhere.
And it was like really raspy in the background. I'm like, okay, that's weird. So I called her. I'm like, did you call me? I'm like, you want me to take you somewhere? And she was like, I didn't call you. And I'm like, bitch, you did call me. I'm like, you called me because I got a voicemail from you that said you called me. And she was like, Trina, I didn't call you. So I called my voicemail with her on the phone on 3-way and let her listen to it. And she was like, Trina, that's not me. That's not me. And I'm like, Crystal, what? I'm like, girl, stop playing. I'm like, but anyway, I knew it wasn't her, but I'm like, I'm like, what? That's weird. Anyway, so I leave from there now. I'm like, that's crazy. So I go to her house, and when I get to her house, she kind of like freaking out because she was like, something weird just happened. Like she was, I guess, laying down and in the midst of sleep and awake, or for her being asleep and like still awake, she heard my keys jingling because at the time I had like a lot of keys and a lot of like key rings on my keys, so they would be jingling when I like really loud when I came in the house. So she heard my keys, and then I don't know, I guess her phone rung, and it was me supposedly on the phone, and I'm like, bitch, come outside. I want you to ride with me somewhere, which would make sense because I'm driving, and she said she spoke to me. And so I get there and I'm like, no, I didn't call you. And she like, Trina, you called me. So we looking at our phones, and it's like legit a call from her phone on my phone, but she never made the call on her phone, and vice versa with her. I never had an outgoing call to her. She never called me. And we were like, so who called who? But it was the same voice. It was like, bitch, come outside. I want you to ride with me somewhere, with this real raspy background, which is like insane and crazy. And it scared the crap out of me and her for a long time, to the point like where I don't watch horror movies anymore. Like anything paranormal, I just will not watch it because I still cannot explain what happened. I really don't know what it was. I don't want to know what it was. And so yeah, that is my story. So if you want more Black People Horror, like and subscribe.